there was an inhuman shriek of something massive and completely inhuman, met moments later by a blood-curdling scream from Aziz, who opened fire with the crossbow straight into the otherworldly tunnel that had been burrowed through the wretched tenant. Now that thing that was hiding in her body by way of whatever space between worlds this abomination had access to, came ripping out of its foul burrow, revealing itself to be a strange, chittering scorpion-like creature with a thick, blood-soaked carapace that seemed to be made from a mixture of red resin and human flesh. Far too many centipede-like legs and a long, wasp-like stinger. The face of the thing was a vile hideousness that the wizards of the highest council and the priests of the greatest orders still can't quite agree on, but it was in no way human. 6 beady black eyes and a vulgar maw, under which hung 2 bulbous mouthparts that rattled aggressively. It had massive blood-laced wings that looked like hellish red-stained glass, and a pulsating abdomen that glowed a sickly green. And it was the size of a boar. It swiped at Aziz when it had emerged and just barely missed. The wizard had immediately put the boy behind him. Aziz's shot had hit the creature in one of its many eyes, but this only served to anger the beast, who raised its long whip-like thorax and made a horrendous screaming hiss, taking a fast stab straight at the wizard's face, which the old man deflected with his dagger, spit, swore in a language that Aziz had never heard before, and that took a step towards the creature, trying to force it by corner back into the corpse nest it had crawled out of. But the beast was not having it, and took another shot at the wizard with the dripping, bubbling stinger, filled with some ungodly toxin, which barely missed the wizard and only missed Aziz because he had been standing at the wizard's back, and the stinger caught to the old conjurer's robe. Meanwhile, the centipedes had all started to slowly converge towards this commotion, and were now beginning to quickly drip vile acidic resin on the doorways, sealing the two in with the horrors. The scorpiopede hissed and swiped again, and it was at this time the wizard had reached the very end of his patience. The wizard took a massive breath through his ivory dragon pipe, and at that moment, the little carved demon at the end of the paraphernalia's eyes went black, and a wry little sneer seemed to creep across his face. The wizard grabbed Aziz by the collar and hoisted the boy under his arm, turning his body out of the way as the wizard just barely saved Aziz from a sting to the gut. His eyes flared green and red at the same time, and the wizard let out a massive bellow back through the pipe, which the dragon matched as though the tiny ivory carving had been the genuine artifact at full size and ferocity, and a jet of fire, the likes of which Aziz had never seen before, burst forth from the pipe in a massive arch of blue and deep orange flame. The scorpiopede screamed as its wings were lit ablaze, and the red veins within burst from the lick of the fire. The beast lunged at the two, who were now backing out of the room. Aziz, reloading his crossbow, shot the lock and handle off the cheaply made door. Then from the adjoining room there came a hideous bellow of something other than the scorpiopede writhing on the floor. Another one of even greater size and with hard chitinous armor. It too seemingly made from human pieced components by way of whatever this godless ritual had been. Then another from some upstairs crawlspace. Aziz, still small for his age, climbed onto the wizard's shoulders as the old man clashed with the largest insectoid horror that had clawed its way through the door, as the other was stuck in the crawlspace. Flames continued to burn quickly as the dragon blew more and more fire into the room. The nested horror had exploded in the body of the screaming wretch, which had finally died as the wizard kicked out the door and they fled.